My name is Ravindra Krishnappa, 83 mechanical start. I am both an entrepreneur and an angel investor. So I run a couple of entities as an entrepreneur. One thing called Science Adda, which is into education, and something else called AceBot, which is a chatbot with AI embedded in it. But I'm probably more known for my journey as an angel investor. I've got about 15, 16 companies under my portfolio. So BIT, as a background, the reason I know a lot of people here are essentially because some of us started the BIT cultural team. So if you've heard of Vaibhav, I was the main organizer for Vaibhav in those days. So that's how the history of BIT has been. Oh, lots. You heard Jaggi mention the 2x7 coffee. That was for me, right? So my first, as soon as I came in, I think there were a lot of people ragging us, but we were well known in the college circles because we were there earlier. So Basuraj, for example, he was just remembering that the first batch that went out, we were the ones who came back with the overall shield, both from NI Mysore. NI used to do a program called Techniques. So we were the first batch that brought a shield, overall shield, back to BIT. I don't know if you heard Krishna Kita mention about him getting a first prize and me saying, what's the big deal? So that's because that year Vibrations, we won overall first in a lot of these. We won overall first in skits. We won overall first in What's a Good Word. There's a set of guys who are 2 years senior to me. I used to team up with them and do that piece. So tons of, I think the longest memory would be related to the fact that I used to in those days have a purple color Luna that used to be almost the Luna for the whole batch, right? So question, how many people do you think you can get on a Luna? The old TFR Plus, how many do you think you can get? 5? We had 14 people who took the Luna down towards the circle. That used to be the general public, so we used to come in, park. Those days I would park, and then I had another one. And then we brought in Eat Out. Eat Out was something that Sridhar was the guy who used to own Eat Out. So we kind of, in those days, we were the only set who had a credit rating with Sridhar. So I think those are setting up Vaibhav. Vaibhav was the first intercollegiate competition that had Western music band playing, and we had a fashion parade. It was also very well known because we were the first one who had a bomb scare, and a lot of us were, so we had to shut it down until they got a dog squad, and it was a fake one, but you had to follow protocol and work through the process. A lot of us were on essentially police protection for that 3 weeks or 4 weeks because we made such a big impact in those days. I would say freedom. I mean, so we were extremely bullish. I would say we were freedom in terms of just not what we were going to do. We would do very wild things, right? So and relatively, you can go back and claim that you do a lot of. I mean, that continues. Everybody does a wild thing, but some of it used to be really crazy, right? So and it would always come through where somebody would work through. So just to give you an example, we were talking about engineering, drawing, and mechanical. Some of these being difficult for those people, right? We didn't have. While there were a lot of good teachers in a few classes, not all of them would be able to work through, right? And we used to have this problem. So every session before exam, some of us would take classes for all the rest, right? So even today, there are people who introduce some of us to their kids and their saying that these are the ones who made me pass, right? So it's all those kinds of things. So when I say freedom not to do essentially what you want, but freedom to express it in such a large piece, I think. So for the event itself, I think the participation and a kickoff was our key expectation. So if you look at it, the stats show this, and this is why I think I want to convey this piece, right? For whatever reason, if you see what is the interaction, most of the interaction of the people who are here are the first decade. So 79 to 89 is, in fact, 79 to 84, 85 is the biggest piece. We don't know why, but 90s, the numbers of interaction has dropped. Early 2000 to 2010, it seems to have dropped even more, right? Now, you don't think that's true, right? As you have more Facebook, as you have more social network, you would expect the interaction to go higher in the latter years, post 2000. For whatever reason, either because there's no trust in the system, there's no belief that there is something good going to come out of it. That's been, I think, a lacuna that we want to fill and make sure that people engage. The second one is anything like this is just a start. It has to pick up momentum. So if there is a few asks that I would want, even out of you and all the team, is we have to identify for every batch, I want 50 people registered on the website who are connecting, right? So very simple maths. We have had 40 batches. If you get 50 people, at least one of them will get 3 or 4 other people. So we will have 100 odd people being done. So my target is very clear that between now, the next few years, we should have at least alumni membership size of over 40,000. Right? That's a larger target that I would say, because that's the piece that we want to go back into.